I feel like your story is really unique when it comes to basketball. Every kid wants to be in the NBA. What would be your advice to encourage a young person?
Fall in love with it. Allow yourself to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
You'll learn how to manage your NBA career. You'll learn your rhythm. Who told me this?
Yeah.
James Jones and Monty Williams.
Okay.
Because my rookie year, I came in there, I'm working. He said this with guys like J.J. Redick and a bunch of guys that he had been around. He's like, you will find what works for you. Just listen to us. It's hard. You're a rookie. You want to prove yourself.
Yeah. You're a man of God, but what's it like being a believer and in the NBA?
Okay, rise up, keep your faith, elevate, on the mic, off the mic, hustle, motivate, all the glory be to God, let that resonate, game recognized, game champion of faith.
Man, Cameron Johnson, dude, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So my favorite, I've been the team chaplain for the Phoenix Suns for 22 seasons. I don't know if I ever told you, you're my favorite son. You're my favorite NBA player.
Thank you, PT. That
My
means a lot.
favorite one.
22 years, you've come across some good guys. So
I've come
means a lot to me.
there's so many good guys. I mean, when you say that, I just immediately start like so many good. Grant Hill, Channing Frye, Josh Childers, like just a lot of like NBA players, yes, but just great people, man.
Absolutely.
Great people. Man, I'm so glad to have you today. I'm excited about today. And thanks for joining us. I would like to start with like, man, your faith. Like you're a man of God, but you're a man of God in the business of the NBA. What's it like being a believer and in the NBA?
What's it like being a believer in the NBA? I'd say just like being a believer in any aspect of life and any job you do, there's going to be people whose views align with yours. There's going to be people whose views don't align with yours. But for me personally, it is the motivation and what keeps me going, what keeps me steady, what keeps me at, not too high and not too low. There's a lot of stressors. There's a lot of things that throw you off course, in professional sports. Some may call it pressure, and that's kind of how I use perspective and use faith to level everything out and keep going.
Yeah, that's so good. What about? I mean, a lot of people don't know this. Obviously, we know this, but like, take me through your position from being a basketball player and the importance of chapel, and even what chapel is, how it happens. What's that like? So
chapel is where we find our like community as believers, and I'd say the most important thing about chapel is in the NBA week the days of the week don't really matter. It doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's your schedule can be anything. It could be a game day, it could be an off day. But I cannot remember the last time I've had a Sunday off day. I just can't. You got practice in the morning, you got a game, you always got something. So chapel, every game is like doses of church before every game, doses of the word, doses of faith, gathering with like-minded people, gathering with teammates, gathering with people from the other team, gathering with pastors such as yourself, chaplains, and you get such a wide perspective. You get such, different types of messages coming from, different types of people from different backgrounds. And I think it's such a great thing. It's automatically a part of my pregame routine. It is always going to be carved that 60 to 48, 49 on the clock will be that chapel time. And my first few months in the league, I was a believer, but I didn't really know what chapel was.
Yeah.
So you would come in and be like, hey, we got chapel at 60. Here we got chapel at 60. And I'm a rookie, so I'm trying to figure out like my schedule, what's going on, what are we doing here, what are we doing there? And it's like 60 to the meeting's at 40. What if I'm late? And so it's like I'm still trying to figure it out. And then you, Coach Mon, you're like, come to chapel. So halfway through the season, I started going to chapel and been going ever since for the past 5 years. And it was this past year that they've always been good. They've always been really good. But we had a couple guys that would ask for a little summary of chapel or, topics that we talked about were they were hitting. And so I was, bringing them up in conversation with some of the guys on the team and some of our coaches. And it kind of dawned on me that, like, I need to start keeping a better log of what we talk about in chapel. So then I started bringing a journal with me to every chapel. And, I just writing the date, writing the game. And I started that probably halfway through. So I have 40-some entries from last season. And then going into this season, I'll get a new little moleskin notebook and keep it going. And what I come to see is, like, I go back to it. I read them over again. I highlight the things in my Bible. It just keeps me really engaged in the Word when life around it is always so busy. Wow. And so I think that's the best tool for an NBA player, any professional athlete, because they all have their own versions of chapel, to stay engaged in faith. It's the people around you. It's your teammates. And you kind of build a bond through that. And it's a really consistent thing in your schedule. And it really allows you to continue to grow amongst the chaos with everything that I just mentioned before. Yeah.
I think one of the things you said, I just had this thought, like, you're like, being a believer in the NBA would be like being a believer, I guess, in any business, right? And I started thinking about that, like, that's an interesting thought, because not every business has chapel, but like the NBA does. And like, how cool would that be? Like, if there's people that own businesses or own companies right now, or hey, you're an employee, you want to start a little something once a week on your lunch break at work, like, hey, let's do a 15-minute devotional chapel or whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to be limited to the NBA, WNBA, NFL, baseball. Like, it could be anybody's business. Yeah. That's pretty cool, right?
And nobody's expected to show up. It's not like you got to be here. It's we show up because we want to be there, because we, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's never any slight to anybody. You don't look at the people in the locker room and say, oh, you're not a believer, you don't go to chapel.
Right.
If anything, you bring the extra sheets back and put them down. And this is what we talked about. I just think it's, one of the most important things in my game day routine.
So my favorite, so in 22 seasons with the NBA, my favorite moment was,
I know which one you're going to say.
My favorite moment was in Milwaukee.
Yep.
We're the Suns against the Bucks in the finals, and me and Josiah, my son, we're up there and we're outside of the hotel, and Coach Mont and Max, one of our security guys, is, hey, you should jump on and go with us over the arena. And we're having chapel in Milwaukee, in the arena during the finals. I mean, dude, are you kidding me?
It's not normal chapel either. This is like, we're in Coach's, it was like not even, it was part of the locker room, but like an office section. It was small. Yes. We had a lot of people. We're all like huddled in.
Crowded
and just
in, sitting on floors. A couple 7-footers.
That was a chapel's chapel. That was a chapel's chapel.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Man, and I was thinking too, like, you tell me about, because I feel like your story is really unique when it comes to basketball, because you started at a young age, but it's not just your dad who played, but your mom played.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
We grew up playing. I have 4 brothers, 1 older, 2 younger. We played, and it's just what we felt we were kind of meant to do. We played other sports too, but basketball, given that both our parents were basketball players.
But wait, you were a quarterback, right?
Yeah, I was.
Football?
A long time ago.
But were you decent?
I was. That was actually a period of time where I thought I was going to play football in college.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm from Western PA. We love football over there. Yeah. It's kind of like a machine. It's the hype. It was the fun. You had the community support, and it just kind of roped you in. So I'd say like late middle school. Now, granted, my body had to develop in a different way. Yeah. I grew, and I was really skinny in high school. So it was like, okay, definitely a basketball player. But had I been shorter and maybe a little bit heavier, maybe a little more robust shoulder when it came to playing, I'd have kept playing.
I mean, quarterbacks in the league are tall.
Yeah,
a lot. I mean, maybe not 6'8" tall.
Yeah, maybe not my height tall.
Maybe not 6'8" tall, but they're 6'5", 6'6", 6'4".
I liked football, never loved it.
Yeah,
never loved it the same way. I liked all the stuff that came along with it, and I enjoyed certain parts of it, but I was always looking forward to basketball.
So obviously, your siblings they play basketball. They're great at basketball. Your dad was great at basketball. But talk about your mom.
My mom was, the funny thing is, she never talks about herself. She'll never say, I did this, I did that. You have to find out. I had to find out through my grandparents. Mostly my grandpa had a room in his like a little shelf reserved. There's all these trophies in my mom, and they're not just like participation trophies. These are like state player of the year basketball, state player of the year volleyball, state player of the year softball. So she was just an all-around athlete.
Wow.
She played basketball at Kent State, had a really good college career, went on to play professionally for a second before that, first WNBA kind of shut down on him real quick. But she was a hooper, and she still, will get out there and play tennis and play pickleball and shoot around with us. And she's going on 60. So she's a real natural-born athlete.
So I know because, you've been at my house so many times, you and your brothers, and playing pickleball. Like you play pickleball. You can play some pickleball.
A little bit.
Yeah, and Puff can play some pickleball.
He's more of a talker.
He's a big talker.
More of a talker.
But he can play
and more of an intimidator.
Okay, well, that's true too.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the trash talk game.
Yeah.
He's on point.
Yeah.
But and then your youngest brother Bray, he's more quiet. But is he a pickleballer?
A little bit.
So, do you guys have like family pickleball? Like
we do sometimes, but I'm only here in the summers now, and it's so hot that it's hard to get everybody to go outside at once these days.
Yeah,
unless you're going into the pool, and even that is hard. But like this has been a topic of conversation in our house. Like I said, Western PA, we're indoor folk. We are indoor folk to the max. So. Yeah. Living in AZ, we're trying to convert. Like, there's a lot of outdoor living here where you just eat dinners outside, sit on the patio, watch TV outside, and just hang out, maybe get a fire going. We are indoor folks, so we're trying to flip it a little bit. When I have the family out here and get together, we're going to make an effort to become a little more outside.
But you have a pickleball court too, right? Yeah. So, I mean,
I do.
That's fun.
I have no excuse.
Yeah, you have no excuse.
None.
But not like you're good. Like, we've had a bunch of NBA players, a bunch of NFL players all over at the house at the same time, and there's guys that they literally can't play. They're pros in their sport, but they're not great. But you guys are good, man.
Yep. I'm a really proud ping pong player. It's one of my favorite games in the world. So
wait, didn't my son beat you though? My son beat you.
No.
Yeah?
No.
No? Josiah didn't beat you.
No, his friend. He's a tennis player.
His
He's pretty
friend,
good. We were going back and forth. He's pretty good.
He's a D1,
I need to get him back.
He's a D1 tennis player.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
That's great. I just love great ping pong competition.
Yeah.
I live for it. I was in a sweat. I was getting after it that day.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what about this? So when did you start really playing like basketball?
Ooh, really started playing basketball organized.
Yes.
4.
4? So did you grow up the club scene, all that grind?
We won a second grade national championship in 2004.
Wait, were you like 6'2" in second grade?
I was small. I was regular height. I was normal height, like maybe a little taller when it came to like other second graders. I wasn't the tallest.
Yeah.
But we had a really good team of guys that were really advanced for 8-year-olds. My dad and his old college teammate were coaching us. They coached us like we were high schoolers, like we were college kids. They were on us, yelling at us.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe it. I've said by your dad at many a games he in the NBA, he's not playing around.
Not one bit. He wasn't back then, and it was really cool, So I've been playing at as high of a level as I could, I possibly could for a while now, and I'll just say, winning a second grade national championship. As an 8-year-old, you go into it's summer break, so you go into school. It's third grade, and like I'm wearing my medal, number one. No other kid our age in the country is better than us. So it's a lot to tell an 8-year-old.
Be legendary.
Yeah,
there you go.
A lot to tell an 8-year-old, but it was fun, man. I've always
crazy.
loved hooping. Always been in it. Always played up. Always tried to play with my older brother, and so I always thought I was meant to do it.
Yeah. What about? So here's a couple, I don't know. I just think these are wild ideas for the average person, the average fan, the average person that watches the sport. What was like your first memory of like the first major, like iconic pro athlete that you met? Maybe you were in high school. I don't know.
That I met.
Yeah. And you were just like, holy cow, like that's so-and-so. Do you remember a moment like that?
I don't. There's not many basketball players in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So the college guys, it's probably the college guys, guys at the University of Pittsburgh.
Well, what about once you got to league? Were you like, dude, I'm guarding like...
like welcome to the league moments?
Yeah.
So I guess the one thing that everybody in my generation and younger will say is like, I remember as a little kid, specifically, Cavaliers versus Pistons series, probably, what was that, 05, 06, something like that, where LeBron was just going crazy. And I remember sitting on a couch. I was at a friend's graduation party, like an older friend's graduation party. I was probably 8, 9 years old, sitting on the couch, and I'm like, wow, like doing the math in my head. If I make it to the NBA one day, he might still be around. That's crazy to think about.
That's crazy.
So ever since I was young, I had that thought in my head, like, I might be able to play. I might, and you're a kid, you dream big. I might be able to play against LeBron one day. So I'd say maybe the first time stepping on the court, playing against Bron.
Who was he with then?
Lakers.
He was, because you've been in.
We played him early in the season, my rookie year.
Yeah. So that would be crazy. I think that would be crazy. Yeah. I think it'd be crazy to be a kid who loves the sport. Like when I was a kid, you're watching Michael Jordan and, Scottie Pippen and the Celtics and Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. But like then the one day like be playing against them would be crazy.
And then it wears off just like that.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is who I compete against.
LeBron obviously is insane. And he's got his people that are critical or whatever. What I love about LeBron, man, is like especially in the NBA. I love this. Like you can see he loves his wife and he loves those kids.
Loves them.
Like he's a good,
and he raised them.
Good dad, man.
And they're good kids.
Good kids.
When they have. He didn't have to be the person he was. His kids don't have to be the people they are.
Yeah.
And I have to say too. I mean, you just have to give credit where credit's due. Without LeBron and movers of generations, your Jordans, your Magics, your Birds, your Currys, there's Kobe's, there's tons of them.
Yeah.
That is why our sport is popular.
Yes.
You have guys at the top that really move the sport along, that get that global popularity. And so the reason why there's money in the business, the reason why business is doing well, it benefits everybody. But we have some real guys throughout time that have really, really carried the load when it comes to pushing the sport to a global, big deal. Mm-hmm. And so I have to give tons of credit to those guys and how much they do.
I think too, like what you said about like your kid watching Bron, like it'd be crazy one day maybe I could play. Mm-hmm. I have a different perspective, but it's similar. Where like I grew up and like some of my heroes like AC Green or Kevin McHale. Yeah. Well, it's crazy because now they go to my church.
Yep.
Like I'm like, this is weird.
They're humans.
And they're humans. And great humans.
And they're humans.
I mean, just good dudes, man. But like, because being in the league for a couple decades for me, the same. It's like as a chaplain, the first year you're like, holy cow, that's so and so, and then you realize when so and so comes to you and goes, dude, my life is a mess and I need help, and they're crying and they're everybody else sees them as like this iconic, famous celebrity hero. And then my job behind the scenes is like, dude, doing life with these people, right? But then when that wears off, so where I like that, there's so wears off, like people. One of my best friends, Pastor Andre, he says, where there's people, there's poop. And I'm like, that's never been more true. But I was like going crazy a few years ago when I found out AC Green, Kevin McHale going to my church. These guys are older than me.
It's
and
full
I'm like,
circle moments.
Yeah.
It's worth appreciating and it's worth feeling that way.
No doubt. Well, what about this? This is I think this is a fun question. What is it like going from like really no money to like boom money, and how careful do you have to be with that? It's no secret with people in the league what they make, is at least as far as NBA salary.
Exactly.
It's like it's public. I mean, there's just so much.
Exactly. You go up to the random person on the street and that's how much money they make, and it's like, why are you asking me that?
Don't ask me that.
Don't ask me that. That's so rude.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's just one Google search away for a lot of us.
Exactly.
But that comes with the job.
Yeah.
The job comes with the territory. And I'll answer the second part of your question. First, you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful of I think it's the people you surround yourself with first.
Yeah.
And, I've been very blessed and fortunate to have a great family that I don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about watching my back with such and such. And I just know that they have my back no matter what.
Yeah.
Money, playing career aside completely.
Yeah.
And that just comes from my parents and my siblings as well. But to the first part, this is this is worth talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Because we kind of avoid the situation. You know, it's
Yeah.
easy to just be like, avoid it.
Yeah.
I think, one, the first thing that comes with it is understanding that we're not playing for 40 years.
Right.
So do not think
Right.
that stream of income is going to last.
Yeah.
And do not take for granted the fact that you get it now, and don't expect future income. So whatever
Yeah.
your contract is guaranteed for, I've always operated as that's the money that I have for the rest of my life.
Yes.
If I don't make $1 after this, how, like, will I be set up?
Yeah.
So that's how I operate. And, you know, just, I try not to change the way I live. I try not
Yeah.
to change.
See, that's the part.
It's habits.
That would be hard.
It's habits.
Habits.
But I'll explain
Yeah,
in a second.
yeah.
It's really habits. So if you get yourself, for example, if you've ever flown private,
Yeah.
you would know that it is highly convenient,
Yes.
and it is very, very easy compared to commercial flying. But if you create a habit out of it, you'll be drained in just like that.
Right.
It is expensive.
Right.
If you have a habit of going out and blowing money at clubs and expensive dinners,
Yeah.
that habit will drain your money.
Yeah.
If you keep a posse around you of people that drain you,
Yeah.
that will also drain your money and your energy and a lot of things.
It's good.
Right? So it's
Yeah.
it's a lot about the habits that you have.
It's great.
That's number one. And number two is you tailor your life, and I'm very fortunate, like I said, to have people that help me with this, but it's kind of relative, and your life kind of gets tailored on a scale.
Yeah.
So for me personally, like my expenses in terms of medical, body maintenance,
Right.
basketball stuff, workouts, like to take care of myself,
Yeah.
food, to
Yeah.
take care of myself is very, very high.
Yeah.
So it's like if I wanted to save all the money in the world and just kind of keep it, then I would cut back from that a lot.
Yeah.
And that is probably my biggest
Yeah.
my biggest expense. I would cut back from that a lot, but in my eyes, it's an investment in itself.
Yeah.
How can I make myself the best player that I can be? How can I extend my career as long as I can? And how can I kind of cultivate this gift that I have to use it to the best of my abilities? So that's why I'm completely willing to, do all those things.
Yeah.
And it kind of just goes for a lot of areas of your life. And I assume this is what every person does. You understand how much financial capability you have.
Yeah.
And you plan your life within those boundaries, and you stick to it.
Yeah.
And you stick to it.
But I think like what you just said, because it's a lot of money in a hurry, right? It's like even a small rookie contract is
a lot of money in a hurry.
It's a lot of money in a hurry, and especially people who maybe didn't grow up
right
in those environments or around money or around because I've known and you I'm sure have too, but I've known people in leagues, NFL, NBA specifically, who it looks to the eye like, oh, they're loaded making, but they're broke
because they spent it. But
and I'm not knocking them. Like
no,
it's hard.
No,
like I always say, like if you make it the way the American system is, us, are a part of the system. Is like if I make $40,000 a year, I'm probably living off 55.
Right.
And you got credit card debt, and you got loans and student loans and all. If I now I'm making a little bit more, I'm making 75. I'm probably living off 100. Like and just keeps going. And that I think one of the most unique things I've ever seen in my time is two people. One, James Jones, the general manager of the Phoenix Suns, but also Leandro Barbosa. When they played for the Suns, they both lived. And for those of you that don't know the Valley, they lived in the West Valley.
Yeah.
Well, the West Valley, West Valley's blue collar.
Yeah.
They didn't live in Paradise Valley. They didn't live in North Scottsdale.
Right.
They lived in the West Valley. And I remember, they were just like, hey, listen, we're middle class dudes that happen to be making a lot of money, but we don't want to live that way.
Yeah.
And James one day told me like the funnel's upside down. So for like most people, you're growing financially, you're making more every year, your career growing, your business is growing. He's like, for us, we have to be really careful because the funnel's like this, and it's a unique person that the funnel keeps staying like that.
Yeah.
You know, because the water faucet, it just like, even if it doesn't get turned off, it gets turned down.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're Shaq and you're going to go, you know.
Which is few and far between.
Right. Exactly. And let me ask this: Is there you know, you're into it now.
Yeah.
You're a veteran. Is there a keeping up with the Joneses temptation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally, it's human nature. And you see it with maybe younger guys. You know, you might see an older guy that's been established, you know, made a couple of dollars that has maybe some jewelry, some nice clothes, nice cars, nice house, whatever it may be. And the young guys are around him, and it's just like, man, everything in life comes down to perspective.
Yeah.
It's who you're around. Everything is relative.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're in the room with people that, let's just say, have a lot of money and have a lot of nice things, and you don't have the nice things, then you notice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so it's just natural human nature where it doesn't matter how much money you have, you're just trying to fit in with the people that you're around.
Right.
And it's natural inclination.
Right.
So, yes. And, you know, if I talk to a young guy or anything like that, like, you just run your own race. Like,
Cause I remember like
that's how I felt when I was young. It was just like,
that's what I'm thinking, especially the younger guys, rookie guys, second year guys. Maybe you didn't get that second contract, but like you're playing up, and you know, I'm just saying.
Well, if you're banking on the second contract to float your lifestyle, it's tough.
Yeah,
because you never know what can happen.
You never know. What about, because like I was thinking about like when we had one year we had Shaq, we had Steve Nash, we had Amari, you know, Sean Mary, like we had a great team.
Yeah.
But I remember Leandro Barbosa was a part of that team somewhere in there, and James Jones, he would drive a Dodge Magnum, you know, but you're parking in next to, I mean,
Dodge Magnum might look sweet somewhere else, but again, it comes down to And I remember one time in the locker room, Sean Marion had a, you know, blingy belt buckle, and Sean's a Chapel guy too, great dude, but he had this big blingy belt buckle, and he and Barbosa were bantering back and forth. And he's like, but you got those earrings, you know, and Barbosa had these. Oh, those conversations go all the time.
Oh yeah, and he's like, I got these at Macy's.
Exactly.
I got these are $5.
Exactly. Those conversations go on all the time. These fake. These fake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's you know, it's like I think the basis of it, and I'd say this is probably the most important. These are the most important things that I'd say. For me personally, I would not have the awareness that I have if it weren't for the people that I was surrounded with. The people my parents. If it was just me and my own, I mean, I wouldn't even consider myself a risk taker. I wouldn't have the biggest risk taker. I wouldn't consider myself reckless.
Yeah. But
even then, you're given money, and it's just like, it's my parents who raised me, and everything that I've been taught in my life that has prepared me to be able to handle it.
Right.
So I'm just, like I said, I'm just lucky. I'm blessed in that regard. And then on the other side, I think the main thing, the number one overall thing, is gratitude.
Yes.
It's so simple.
Yeah. Amen.
But just having gratitude that you have the stream of income for the time that you have it. You have a roof over your head. You have your health care at this time, and all these things. Like, when you start actually sitting down and stop counting what I have versus what somebody else that I'm around every day has versus what I have and what I need, and how far I've come. Yeah. Then it becomes a lot simpler of a picture. And
man, maybe, you know, you might need to be a pastor when you're done.
No, I mean, bro, I'll say that for you, man.
No, but what you just said is so good. Like, the people around you, like the soil that you're planted in, right? The right soil, because the wrong soil full of weeds, you know, weeds steal the nutrients of the plant, and it's like not having those in your soil, and recognizing, because man, sometimes those things pop up and they're snakes. Sometimes your own people, you know, and we've heard that many times where the people closest to you end up taking advantage of you, and ends up being a really, really bad scenario.
Yeah, I just say never, like, how should I word this? Never feel like you're entitled to play in the NBA. Never feel like you're entitled to play a professional sport. That sense of entitlement will screw you up.
That's great.
And
I mean, that goes back to what you're saying, gratitude.
Never feel
Like,
never
it's
feel
a
entitled.
heart
It's
of-
always it's always a gift. It's
Yeah.
always something. You know what I mean?
What do you think about the NIL and all that now with college sports?
Okay, so
I mean, since we're on the money,
I
you
did
know.
my master's
Uh-huh.
in sport administration. Back when I was at Carolina, and I had one paper that I wrote. It was in a law class, sport law class, and we had to write a big paper, like a 25, 30-page paper at the end of the semester.
Yeah.
And you had to just pick an issue in college sports on the aspect of law and write about it.
Yeah.
And review cases and be very critical in a law sense.
Okay.
I picked student athletes getting paid.
Okay.
And I went after it. And I had cases, and I was writing my paper, and my professor, we were talking about it, and she was like, a lot of your points are socioeconomic and not necessarily law. And my response was, the issue is very socioeconomic.
Yeah.
And the law supports that. But like, it's been an issue, a big issue, for a long time. And I was just watching the Johnny Manziel documentary a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just see it. We got very accustomed to, in a sense, young people being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, it's young people of color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No doubt.
And it's very easy. It was very easy under the NCAA rules to keep it that way. So to answer your question, I think it's a great thing. It's very messy. It's very messy. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But at least this mess is benefiting these players.
It's heading in the right direction.
Yes, it just needs a lot of work. It needs a ton of work. Mm-hmm. And I remember my whole 2 years in grad school were centered around this one issue. This was the issue that I focused most of my thoughts on.
Yeah.
And my conclusion was, there is no simple conclusion for this. There is no simple answer. It is going to be complicated. There's going to be years of mess. And this was back in 17, 18, 19, before the transfer portal, before NIL. And so it kind of came to fruition a little bit quick, like really quickly after I left.
Yeah.
But the rules are completely different from when I was in college.
What do you think? What do you think maybe the bad parts of it are as it is right now?
Okay, so I would say the bad parts of it are, imagine NBA, 30 teams, every player signs a 1-year unrestricted free agent deal. So between every year, guys can just go wherever they want.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Like whatever team outpays me next year, I might go there or not pay even, but situational.
That's basically what it became. And there's the collectives and all this stuff. It was probably something the NCAA was not anticipating. And it came right on the heels of the transfer portal and transfers being allowed to move freely, which those two to be placed simultaneously is just a recipe for chaos.
Yeah.
Which both of them needed to happen. I just think that one or the other should have happened a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And then the rules kind of acclimate around those. But
because you could, I mean, that's you see it. We see it. We see like somebody's going to play for this school, but then next year.
It's like, I already know I'm going to transfer next year because I think such and such will pay me X amount of dollars and I can hold that over my, a lot of these kids get paid more to transfer. It's like it's like grass is greener to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
Like you're paid more to transfer than you are to stay.
Wow. Yeah.
The next team will pay you more than the current team you're on because you're already there.
Yeah. What's your favorite college memory in basketball?
My favorite college memory.
Didn't I see some you sent me? You shared your faith and stuff. I thought that was cool.
Oh, that was after my senior night game. So let's just go with that day.
That was cool.
That day was like a real nice. So I would like my favorite memory to have been national championship
Winning.
or something. But we got bounced way too early my senior year. We were a really good team.
But because of you, not Michael Jordan, because of Cam Johnson, North Carolina is my son's favorite college program.
Don't say that, man. You're gonna make my head big.
He is. It is.
You make my head
Facts.
big.
Yeah.
It's a great school, man. And we had a little golf outing the other day where Coach Williams invited a lot of former guys down, play some golf to somewhere in North Carolina. And it's just so cool to have a group of people that you remain so close to.
Yeah.
Like, I just told him, I was like, Coach, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this program. Thank you for allowing me to wear those colors for, a couple years and make me feel like I'm really part of the family. They say Carolina family. And that was really cool. But my senior night, we played Duke. So big time rivalry game. So we have college game day in the morning. The seniors, me, Luke May, Kenny Williams, we're out there with the guys. And, stadium is the arena's packed for college game day in the morning. And the people don't leave afterwards. They go back outside and just camp out. So we do our shoot around, we go team meal. And when we come back for pregame, say the game's at 7, this is probably 3, something like that.
Yeah.
And there is a line wrapped around the arena all the way through the street. So the coaches are like, get out there, like walk in through all the way on the backside of the arena and give every student a high five or something on your way in.
That's cool.
So me, Kenny and Luke, the seniors, lead the whole team down this long walk of a parade through the arena, through all the fans down to the arena. And it just like you realize that the game's bigger than yourself. You realize through these moments how much just throwing a simple ball through a circular object means to community, means to schools, means to people.
Yes.
And it's powerful.
Brings people together.
It's so powerful. Yeah. And so, that game we went, beat Duke. We were probably number 3 in the country. They were probably number 5. So it's a huge game.
Big game.
It's a huge game. We beat them. Guys played well. It was just a great environment. And then they hand us the mics for senior speeches. And so I had my other 2 teammates go first because I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't have anything prepared.
Wow.
I didn't have a single word prepared.
Now, I didn't know that part.
No. Didn't have a single word prepared. Barely put thought to it because the game, it's like this is our last game. We played Duke one more time in the NCAA tournament, but this is our last game versus Duke. This is my last home game in the Dean Smith Center. And this is huge. So I'm so focused on the game that the speeches come after, and I'm so emotional. And my teammates gave up and gave great speeches. I got the mic and just told the crowd how I felt. Wow. And everybody stays. This is like 30 minutes. We're cutting down nets because we were ACC regular season champs with Virginia. Yeah. We're cutting down nets. We're celebrating. And then there's the speeches. So this is like 30, 45 minutes after the game. The arena's still full. Wow. And so they really stayed around, listened to the speeches. And I did talk about my faith because in my time in Carolina, like we had guys, coaches, players. We had a Bible study every Tuesday night with like 10 players.
That's cool.
And it was so cool. Like I said, it's the people you're around all the time.
Have you been seeing the stuff with Ohio State football this year? Dude, they have a ton of believers.
A bumping Bible study?
They had one deal where they were all walking. I don't know if it's to a game where they were going, but there was 25 of them or something like that with shirts that were like, I love Jesus, like just making a huge statement.
Yeah, it's cool, man. That's cool. And it's cool for young kids to see that and feel comfortable in their faith with that and know that they have role models out there.
No doubt. If money, there's no money involved. It's just the game.
Yeah.
What's more fun, to play college basketball at the level you played or in the NBA? Environment-wise, not necessarily like skill-wise and all that, but just like environment.
They're different.
Yeah.
They're so different.
Because I love like the bands and like,
Yeah, that environment's crazy, but it's the scarcity of the games. 30 games, regular season games, give or take a couple, versus 82. You have them way more often. I love the NBA. Yeah. I love it. I love the competition. I love that there's 500, less than 500 players. It's the best of the best. You're going up against the best of the best every night. Yeah. Yeah, there's politics, there's this, there's that, there's, crap here, crap there. But at the end of the day, like you have so many opportunities to go out and play against the best players. Right. And it's cool. Right. We watched it growing up. We love it. It's basketball at its finest. But college, it's cool. It's just it gives you a lot of energy, a lot of juice, especially playing at a place like Carolina. Yeah. And when I was at Pitt, when we had the Oakland Zoo popping, man, it was a great day. We beat some teams so bad in there because I think purely off of the fact that our crowd was just crazy. And there's nothing to replicate student sections. Those are unreal.
Right. But see, that's part of it too, right?
So it's tough
because you probably have, I don't know, the majority of the arena in a college game. The majority is college kids.
Yeah,
and they're crazy.
Yeah,
and they want to be crazy, and
the band's playing,
exactly
your fight song.
Come on, man!
It's hard to argue against college. It really is. College has a great case here.
Yeah, I think the NBA
and it's finite. That's the other thing about it. NBA, you can play until your time is up.
Yeah.
You got guys playing 10 to 20 years.
Right, no doubt.
College, when you're done,
it's over.
You're done.
Yeah, it's a short season. That's true. I think the NBA should at least introduce bands. That'd be cool.
Some teams might have some bands in there, I think. I'm going to have to pay closer attention, but I could have sworn I saw teams that have like drums. Maybe like in Atlanta. See, that's
like, come on.
Yeah, that's you can't replicate that.
That gets you hype like right away.
What? Nothing like it. You know what else is cool? You know what else is really cool? We had a couple games at Carolina where we played at Elon, at Wofford, these small schools with 3, 4, 5,000 seat arenas. And when I tell you, if you max out like a 4,000 seat arena, it's almost louder than any environment. Wow. That's part of the reason why Duke is so loud, because the arena is so small. Yeah, and they fit 10,000 people in an arena that looks like it should only fit 5.
Oh, they're that small. I didn't know that.
It's under 10, but it looks like 5 or 6.
Well, that's kind of what Grand Canyon University has going, because it's a small arena, but they're crazy and it's packed,
Gotta love it.
Great crowd.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those small arenas, when they pack them up, nothing like it.
So let's jump on the argument.
Yeah.
Bron or MJ?
MJ.
Why?
I'm a biased person in this regard. I was a Michael Jordan fan since the day I was born. My middle name is Jordan.
Your middle name is Jordan.
Yeah. And I've always been a Jordan fan.
And you've been number 23. But I mean, there's more than Michael Jordan to 23.
Absolutely. Psalm 23. Psalm 23 is the main reason why I wear 23 when I do. Like when I went back to the Suns, I wasn't going to go back to 23. I wasn't. I was going to, I wore 13 at Carolina. Yeah. I was going to, turn over a new leaf, but no number has the meaning to me like 23 does. And the majority of, I didn't wear 23 in Phoenix because of Jordan. Yeah. I wore 23 in Phoenix because of Psalm 23.
That's so great.
Point blank period.
Come on. That's so great. Because I think even people that might do that might not be bold enough to say it, Yeah. Because I love that you're bold enough to share that. Yeah. I had a cool opportunity because OBJ goes, he's part of our church family, and he texted me and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about changing my number." He goes, I might go 7, but I might keep 3. And he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Bro, 3." I said, "Father, Son, the Holy Spirit." And he goes, "Done." So he picked 3. So now I got to get a jersey of his, and I'm gonna put that little screenshot on the jersey because cool. I picked his number. Come on.
I think 3 would look better on him anyway.
He's just in 3
would look better.
Yeah, I think so too. But so going back to MJ though, have you met Michael?
Briefly,
sort of.
Briefly, yeah, very briefly.
I would think being an alumni. You know.
But when I was in school, he was an owner of the Hornets, so he couldn't really be around that much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm
thinking like in all my 22 years, I've never even seen the guy. Like, because like with the chaplains, we'll have like a conference every year, where it's usually in line with like the NBA All-Star Game and events, and the chaplains and their wives do something, and like we're staying at the NBA hotel, and
you run into everybody.
Yeah, you run into everybody. I mean, I'm running Magic Johnson, everybody that I was just like a little boy.
Jordan's
like
a ghost. He's hard to find out there.
He's a ghost.
Hey,
I'm like, is this man real?
He's the goat. I guess he's a cut above, I guess, is the only explanation I can give.
And I feel like I feel like the younger generation typically is like Bron, and I feel like my generation like we're like MJ, but and I mean that's the blanket statement, not everybody, but my thing is like they're 2 totally different players, man. They're both insane.
Exactly.
I mean, they're both insane.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if you can really say, oh, that one or that one.
They're different too, though. Bron and MJ are different. That's the Kobe and MJ comparisons don't go very far because they're very similar, and MJ has the nod in most categories. Yeah, but the Bron is a different player, and so guys will bring up like a lot of random. Bron is his longevity is probably never going to be matched, And what he's been able to accomplish would be really, really hard to match. But I'm just going to go with MJ.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I also feel like, you know, in this current era, I could be very wrong. I could be very off base. But like the fact that MJ retired after winning 3 straight, you know, it's not like he was like, oh, I want to be the GOAT. I want to chase.
Right.
You know what I mean? He literally just walked away.
It's almost like he got bored with it.
And came back and won 3 more.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to try some baseball.
Like, he went and played baseball. Like,
I'm going to try some baseball. Happened to be pro right away. Like, no big deal.
He wasn't going to.
I mean, he wasn't in the bigs, but he was a pro.
I know, but he wouldn't have done it if they didn't agree to put him in the minors.
I mean, that's probably true. That's true. Like, if you got to try out for camp, to see
right?
If
he's like, no, I'm
league.
On the team. He's like, I'm Jordan.
I'm Michael Jordan.
I'm on the team.
I'm on the team.
I'm on the team.
Yeah, that's true. What's your favorite arena in the NBA that you've ever played in?
I really like MSG.
Yeah,
it's a great basketball environment. It's the Mecca. I feel like I shoot well in there.
Yeah,
I like the lighting.
Okay.
The arena's dark, but the court is bright.
Now people don't know that. Speak to that. Because,
here you go.
Yeah.
I got a tangent for this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. How much time do we have?
No, we're good.
Because I could probably go on this for an hour. All right. Disclaimer. I think I'm much more sensitive than most.
Okay.
Just the way I operate.
Yeah.
I'm probably a little bit pickier.
Yeah.
And stuff like that than most basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could always just say a hoop is a hoop, a ball is a ball. But to me, like, the visual aspect just means so much. Mm-hmm. So MSG with the dark arena, the seats are dark.
It's Madison Square Garden for anybody that doesn't know.
New York Knicks, yes. Okay. The court is bright. So it's basically you feel like the court is a little more isolated, but the backdrop is nice. Mm-hmm. So the depth perception is nice. Utah Jazz, for example, their arena seats flow right to the hoop. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I love that. Dallas Mavericks, counterexample, they share the arena with the Stars. The arena's a little older, so the risers immediately behind the hoop go up at a lower angle before it takes off. Yeah. So it seems like the hoop is on an island. I like a good backdrop for depth perception purposes. Yeah. When the hoop is on an island, it looks smaller.
Yeah.
And when arenas are dark, not great visually.
How many of those? Because I know, like the Lakers, they basically black the crowd out for the most part, and it's kind of
that's
similar.
why I like that arena, and I like footprint. I love playing here because they do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like Barclays, for example, is just a little bit darker overall.
Okay,
and that's just I pay attention to those things.
Yeah,
and there are a few. I think I like Atlanta too. I think Atlanta has nice hoop visuals. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the ball is different based on where you play.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same ball.
Yeah.
But the environmental impacts on the ball plays into it.
So altitudes?
Denver, the ball bounces. The ball will be harder and will bounce more.
Wow.
In a more humid environment, you'll see, you go look at like a Miami Heat basketball, it's going to look darker. It's going to have gathered a little bit more water. It's small, but... Yeah. Things that you notice when you shoot the ball a million times.
That's interesting.
A year.
Yeah.
Like we shoot those basketballs a lot. So
all day,
a
every
brand new ball feels a lot different than a broken in ball.
Yeah.
So any given game, based on who picks the ball to their preference, it's going to be slightly different.
But on any given game, is every game a brand new ball? No. Okay.
No. Thank God for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if somebody picks a brand new ball,
who's somebody who picks the ball?
It would be a player. I'm not sure if it's
like a captain? Or,
it'd be one player. Like one player from one team will pick like 3 to pick from, and then the other player might pick one. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I might usually be in the back stretching or something at that point in warm-ups. But usually, like, you know, like a star player will come up and pick the ball. Or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. What about as far as, you know, when you think about college, what did you have a favorite arena that you played? I mean, it might have just been North Carolina, other than, you know, North Carolina, was it Duke? Like
Clemson.
Clemson.
I made a lot of threes at Clemson.
Okay,
a lot.
Yeah,
I just liked it. I don't know why.
You just lit
great
them up.
Backdrop, good brightness. I made a lot of threes at Clemson.
So what is that? 3-hour drive from North Carolina,
something like that.
Yeah.
like in a 2-year stretch, I want to say we played there twice, my junior and senior year, and I want to say I was 12 for 18 between the 2 games from 3.
Oh.
And
So
I was shooting like heat checks to miss some of them too. So it was like,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But I love playing in the Dean Smith Center, and I love the Peterson Event Center, Pitts Arena.
Okay.
I loved it.
Okay. So there's probably a lot of kids watching right now, listening. You know, what would you, because like every kid wants to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, you know, first of all, there's a lot of God-given stuff that goes with that. But there's also the work ethic, right? Because it's not just, I got this body that's shaped for the NBA. There's a lot of 6.5, 7 foot people that don't play basketball.
Right.
But like, what would you say is like, what would you encourage a young person, like shooting, how many shots, how many makes, a routine, consistent? Should they play club? Should they not play club? Like, what would be your advice to 13-year-old, 14-year-old Cameron?
My advice to myself would be stick to it. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Control what you can control. Work on what you can work on. I think we get caught up in, you know, I love the work aspect of the job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love this time in my career. I love these off seasons. I love as they transition into the season because I am able to work on a lot of things and try to grow my game. And then the season is the time where I can show everything that I've worked on.
Yeah.
You know.
How many shots do you shoot? Like, kind of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would not recommend a number.
Okay.
I would not put a number to it because for me personally, I can't go out there and shoot a lot of shots. It's diminishing return for me personally.
Okay.
I have to get in smart reps. I have to get in game like reps. I have to be more precise with my work.
Okay.
When I was young, I shot, volume, but just going out there and shooting volume as a kid, I recommend it because you just need to get better at shooting the ball. But as you get older, you go so I think when you're young, just work. Mm-hmm. Just work. Just do whatever you can to get better and embrace that process. And then as you get older, you'll start to find the actual deficiencies in your game. Yeah. You'll start to find things that you can actually improve on. And then you attack those. And you attack those while maintaining and still improving everything else. But it's really easy for me to go into the gym every day and shoot threes. Yeah. Go in there and just shoot threes, feel good about myself. I can really shoot. Yeah. I can really shoot.
But
and
you
then
can.
leave. And then
but
leave.
You can.
Right. No, I go into the gym and work on all the things that I don't do that great on the game. And I want to do this better in the game, so I'm going to work on this. I don't care if it looks ugly right now. I don't care if it takes me 4 years before I start using the game. I'm going to work on it. It's like I do not need to stand there and shoot, catch and shoot threes all day. Right. Let me shoot on the move. Let me shoot off the bounce. And then let me maintain my shot. Let me maintain what I'm working on. Let me maintain the catch and shoot threes. Yeah. And all while understanding how my body operates and how I can get stronger and how I can be more efficient and, how I can withstand NBA seasons. Yeah. So there's so much that goes into it, but the further along you go, so it's just wide bucket when you're young. Yeah. Get shots up, work on your handle, watch basketball and really devote and enjoy it. Yeah. When you're really young, enjoy it.
Yeah,
fall in love with it.
Yeah, love the game.
Don't overcook it. Fall in love with it. Allow yourself to fall in love with it. Then when you get into high school, maybe college, work. Just work. Yeah. Just work. Learn how to work. Yeah. Learn what tough feels like. Learn how to be uncomfortable. And then when you get to later in college, professional, specialize. Learn how to push yourself appropriately. Who told me this? Yeah. James Jones and Monty Williams. Okay. Because my rookie year, I came in there, I'm working. Yeah. I'm running. I'm shooting. This is how Coach Mont would talk. Young buck. Young buck, we get it. You work. Go home. It's like you this is a long season we got. Yeah. It's only September 15th. Yeah. Go home. Yeah. But he also said like
he's so great.
You'll learn. Yeah. You'll learn how to manage your NBA career. You'll learn your rhythm. He said this a lot. He said this with guys like JJ Redick and a bunch of guys that he had been around. He's like, you will find what works for you. Just listen to us when we tell you, when we give you these bits of advice. Because it's hard. You're a rookie. You want to prove yourself. Yeah. of course, I'm still working training camp. I go in and strain my calf.
Yeah.
Missed the first game.
Yeah.
I'm back by the second game, but
Yeah.
I missed the first game. It's like, okay, maybe you're right. Like it's a
Yeah.
lot. The NBA schedule is nothing like you've ever seen.
What
before.
about that though? What about like outside of basketball? Like how much does you talked about the funding, the financing of the body, but like what is like? Do you guys work out, lift weights, work
Yeah,
out?
I lift.
Lift weights.
Yeah,
you know?
I lift.
What's that look like during a week? Like a normal week.
I lift 5 days a week.
Okay.
I work out. It depends. Now, court, I'm always going to get in the weight room. Mm-hmm. Court changes. So in the beginning of the summer, I stay off court. Mm-hmm. We played so much basketball that as I'm 28, like my body has been through a lot of basketball specific movements, and it takes toll on joints. So allow yourself to your body to recover from that.
Breathe a little bit.
Yeah, you don't need to be doing defensive slides in May when you're not in the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, by all means, you got to be doing them.
Yes.
But like when you're not, when you're out, when your season's over, you don't need to be like, full go on court,
full
like
tilt grind.
Work on things that you can't work on in
Yeah.
the season. So for me, my whole April, May was lift.
Yeah.
Lift and work, get stronger, and improve parts of your body that you can't improve during the season because. If you lifted like that during the season, you wouldn't be able to play at the level you play. Like it's like, you know, you got $100 and if you keep lifting like that, you're going to wear yourself out. You know what I mean? So through April and May, I focus a lot on just strength. So my lifts will wipe me out.
Yeah.
I'll lift 2-3 hours and then just be cooked for the day.
So because I think a lot of people don't even pregame guys are lifting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're lifting.
Like activation lifts.
Yeah.
But
get the blood going.
I mean, different guys, some guys start moving weight
They're
in there.
crushing. I've been shocked sometimes. I'm like, because I feel like I wouldn't even be able to shoot.
Routines, man. Routines.
What about nutrition?
Nutrition?
Because I've seen, I mean, you've seen a lot more, but I'm not going to say the name, but there was one guy who is legendary, a star. He, every pregame, every game in the locker room, he'd send the locker room assistant dude up to the main concourse to bring him McDonald's.
So nutrition is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Nutrition is different for everybody. Some people are, I guess, genetically gifted enough that
I guess.
their bodies are just going to perform at a peak level no matter kind of what they eat.
Some people, it did not matter what he ate.
Yeah. I mean, he'd probably still killing. He's probably still doing his thing.
Like it did not matter.
And if he ate perfectly clean and healthy, he'd probably be a little bit more unhappy and would probably play worse.
Probably, yeah.
So they're like, you find what works for you. I'm always like, it's an ever changing thing.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like goals, like protein intake. Like, I love my tan color, my earth tone foods. So it's like, make sure you get your greens in, make sure you do this, stay away from the bad stuff, stay away from the sugar, stay away from the overly processed foods in general, and stay away from fried foods.
Yeah.
And don't drive yourself crazy doing it.
Yeah.
It's like a 80-20 thing is what like a lot of like nutritionists people say. It's like, don't like keep yourself in the right space so that it's maintainable.
That's great. So I have, dude, I have something fun right now. So I have a special guest here today. And so I'm going to relinquish my chair to her, and she's going to ask you some tough questions, man. Some tough questions.
I'm ready for them.
She's a tough interview.
I'm ready for them.
But her name is Travis Hearn, and she's my daughter. She's 15. You guys are homies. You know her well. So Jazzy, are you ready for this, girl? You better bring. Okay, you better bring it.
So why'd you copy me? That's the first question.
You know, I thought it was just a good flow for the day.
Okay.
You know, just a calm, white, off-colored white tee is how can you go wrong with it?
You can't.
You
can't. It's easy to stain though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I forgot I was short. My first question is that. Is it true that you can't palm a basketball and you're 6'8"? Yeah.
I can.
No,
yes, I can.
Prove it.
You prove it. Can you palm a basketball?
This is not my podcast. This is yours.
See, you got to set me up. Look at this. This is worn down basketball. The laces. Look. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Look. What does that look like to you?
Palm do it like that.
Like that, right?
No. All the way in the front.
Like this.
A little lower.
Like that?
A little lower.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it right there, right?
No. Put that thing over.
Do you need a volleyball?
Look, this is bald. This ball has nothing left to it. His days are
sorry,
over.
it's the ball.
It's a setup. That's what it is.
He can't do it.
It's a setup.
Ask him, so how's he dunked then?
How do you dunk?
Okay, so when I dunk, honestly, so if I go up to dunk, the ball is just resting against my hand.
Okay.
It's not palm. So, like, I'll have to bring it up in a way that momentum keeps it against my hand. And then when I follow through, that it stays against my hand. So sometimes you'll see, in some cases, that I kind of overcook it, misdo it. You know what I mean? And the ball goes off the back of the rim and goes flying. It got separated. So if you look at,
you can't palm it.
yeah, if you look at pictures, I can't, like, on the fly, like, you go on full speed. It's like not many people can do that. I don't think that's hard to, like, pick it up full speed.
You literally blamed it on the ball.
Well, it is this ball though.
Guys, watch me do it. Okay, I'm a girl.
Yeah,
I'm just a girl.
If you see a picture of a dunk, you'll see the ball, like, resting against my hand, like.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I know you're a women's basketball fan.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the whole, like, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese thing?
I love it. It's like it's drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets people talking. It increases engagement. It increases viewership. Like, I think a lot of basketball fans, a lot of NBA players appreciate the W and appreciate the skill level that goes into it. Like, people will say all the time, like, if I could go out in a WNBA game and do X, Y, Z, like, those girls are a lot better than you think. Those women are a lot better than you think. Mm-hmm. And, my mom was a hooper. And so I appreciate the opportunities that they have now. Like I was telling your dad, my mom played in, I believe it was called the NWBA, National Women's Basketball Association. She played for a team that I want to say was called maybe the Tennessee Tiger Cats or something. And the league folded during preseason. So, she didn't get that opportunity to play, but they restarted it, the WNBA, and it's still, growing to this day. And I think this is a point where it's just going to kind of take off a little bit. And like I was telling your dad, there's guys along the way in the NBA that moved the needle, right? That made the popularity what it is. And there's women along the way that moved the needle in the WNBA. You look back to the early days and, you have your Lisa Leslie's and you have your Diana Taurasi's, who's been a stalwart for the whole thing. But just like any professional sports association that we've ever had, it grows over time and hits a point where it really starts to pop off. And like you see, like Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson and Sabrina and Brianna Stewart and all those women that are that generation of player that, like, take the game to new heights.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have any fears or phobias?
Fears? Yeah, I do, actually. I hate bugs. Oh my gosh,
Me
I hate
too.
bugs. I hate them. Anything that crawls, the scorpions out here, I hate them. I hate them. Spiders, hate them. Any bug, like, I run.
Yeah.
Heights. I'm afraid of heights.
Oh, that's valid. There's been a lot of, like, lizards in our house.
I'm
like
okay.
tiny little baby lizards.
In the house?
Yeah. Well,
Ooh.
I mean, they're going to be gone now.
Yeah. You got them.
Yeah, we got them. But I hate bugs.
What are your fears?
This is not...
Yeah, flipping the script. How about that?
Okay. I would say bugs, too.
I'm telling you. Amen.
And, like, low-key the ocean, but also I like the ocean, so it's kind of
True.
because it's deep.
It's pretty and stuff, but no, it's scary.
No.
I'm in agreement with you. I'm afraid of the ocean, too. Put me on that list.
Exactly. Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a dog named Halo. She'll be 3 in October. She's a miniature Aussie Doodle.
Aww.
She is the sweetest, most just gentle, loving, never had an ounce of anger in her life dog.
She doesn't pee everywhere?
No. She just thinks the world's all sunshine and rainbows. She's very well behaved.
Where'd you get this dog?
I can give you the hookup. I can't tell everybody. You can blow it up. No, there's a breeder on the west side of the city that I got it from. They're out in Tonopah. King Family Ranch. They did a fantastic job.
Oh.
And Halo is just the sweetest little angel.
Oh, our dogs pee everywhere. JK. I love our dogs. What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday nowadays, I'd say, is Christmas. Is that a bad answer?
No,
Like,
that's what I would say.
Okay, so I feel like anytime you ask somebody like what their favorite holiday is, like people feel like a cool thing to do is an obscure one, like
Yeah, they're like Halloween.
or like
Like,
President's Day.
yeah. Or like
You know?
St. Patrick's Day.
Labor Day.
I'm like,
No,
okay.
really. Christmas, because like that is the one time nowadays that we can gather
Yeah.
all the family in one spot. That's our best shot at it. So those are like precious moments.
Yeah, that's valid. I love Christmas. And it's just nice here. You know,
Oh,
it's
true.
not 120.
You're rubbing it in now.
Yeah.
You're rubbing it in.
Yeah.
It is pretty.
It is. What's your favorite meal or like cheat food?
Ice cream.
I love ice cream.
I love just like a good ice cream sundae. I actually love cotton candy ice cream too. I get a lot of flack for that nowadays. Apparently it's like childish or something. No, it's a fire flavor. There was this ice cream shop in my hometown that had ice cream, cotton candy ice cream with like doggy bone sprinkles on it, and like
That actually
like,
sounds good.
like childhood to me and very nostalgic. So I really rock with cotton candy ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, I love cotton candy ice cream. What's your favorite TV show or movie?
My favorite movie of all time. So I'm a big Jurassic Park fan,
Okay.
and I really like Space Jam.
Okay.
My favorite TV show. I don't know. I love my TV shows, but it's hard to really pick a favorite.
Do you watch Modern Family?
No, I do not watch Modern Family. Is it good?
You have to.
I've never watched Modern Family.
No, start tonight.
I've never watched it.
No, you're gonna watch it.
Okay,
It's-
I'll take it.
It's my favorite show.
Is it still running or is it done?
No, they ended in like 2020.
How long was it running for? Like 10 years?
Yeah, 10 or 11. I don't know. But like, it's sad when you finish it because you've just been
That's-
watching it for so
I know.
long.
I know. That's the worst part about a TV show.
Yeah,
It's like another season, please.
ugh, I know.
I
It
think Game of
sucks.
Thrones is the best TV show ever made. Though.
Really? I haven't
Yeah.
watched it.
Well, it's the best, like most well developed plot line you could imagine.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
like
valid.
every TV show you watch is like actiony. If they're actiony, they're kind of predictable. You know, like the good guy's gonna win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. The bad guys don't lose. No, Game of Thrones is like anybody's good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like for Modern Family too, it's just like a comfort show.
Yeah, that's
It's just,
Community
like,
for me.
yeah.
Community is my funny comfort show. You
Yeah.
ever seen Community?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I think it's hilarious.
And will you close us in prayer?
Yes.
And pray for our viewers watching.
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for allowing me to be around such wonderful people in my life and allowing me, just the ability to be able to share my story, to be able to share my thoughts, to be able to share my dreams, my ambitions. And I do not take that for granted. So again, thank you. Thank you for the people in this room. And I pray that you continue to watch over us, continue to bless us. I pray for everybody watching this, that you continue to just watch over them. And again, Lord, I can't say this enough. We thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Great. Great job, everybody.